your journey from 10K to 1 million, and I'd probably say this is the most common question that I get over and over. What exact strategies were you using back then? Like, how were you actually finding these value bets yourself?
It is a scam when you don't allow everyone to operate on fair terms.
We are the Robin Hoods of sports betting. We take something back from the rich bookies and enable our customers to beat them instead.
Without jumping too deep into it, you realize there are certain patterns going on, and you realize there are certain teams that's underpriced in certain leagues, and you realize there are certain teams that is overpriced in certain leagues, and you try to find those things that's matching up well against each other, and you're going to find a profitable strategy. But it's really hard, and especially now it's even tougher to do it just like that, because there is 5 substitutes and more rotation going on with a more intense schedule in football. I'm still using parts of the strategies, and some of them are still working. So I don't really want to give too much away, because we're all fighting in the same markets.
Of course, mate. Yeah.
So I mean, try your guts, start low, stay low, figure out things that's working for you. And once you feel confident, increase your stakes slowly by slowly, and all of a sudden you built yourself a proper role. But going from 10K to 1 million, I can't say I used too strict bankroll management.
Yeah, would you say that when you started at 10K, like, you came in with an exact strategy in terms of, there's something that I see in this league that's always happening, like this team's always overpriced, etc., or do you think you learn it was just like trial and error from 10K to 1 million or to where you are today? Like, do you think it was just like trial and error and learning things along the way?
Well, I had many different strategies, and some of them worked, some of them didn't. Some sports worked that well, some didn't. Another common thing that I still go by is just simple: figure out where the majority of the punters would bet, and bet the opposite side. That's usually where the value would lie. But at the same time, if you're betting on like Sport Market or 3AT or Bet in Asia, like any of those bet brokers, you have access to so many bookmakers. So you're basically betting in a less than 1% league market. So the juice is not that high, and you can still have room for some errors without killing your bottom line. You just got to figure out the strategy and trust your gut on what you're doing. And if it's not working, figure out ways you can improve. Figure out if you're being too loose, maybe there are certain bookmakers you don't want to bet with, and there are certain that you want to bet with on certain leagues. Or it's just people got to go through it and the learning experience. I'm not going to lay out like, here's the formula, this is what I'm doing, you go and copy it, so the prices will move and I won't be able to get any of my bets on.
Yeah, no, of course. You talked a little bit about I guess predicting where the recreational money is going to go and what's going to make the odds bigger for you. Would like an example of that off the top of my head? Is that like if you see a Manchester United playing West Brom or something like that, do you then go, okay, I mean, if you're looking at fan bases here, there's going to be a lot of recreational money on Manchester United here, just on the fact that they love betting on their own team and, they go in blindly. Is that like the perfect scenario you're thinking of?
Well, first of all, you need it's hard to just make money because you're betting on this strategy. There's many things you can mix into it. I can say, for example, everyone has a free tool available to them, which is Twitter. Twitter lineups is one of the fastest ways to figure out lineups. If you figure out, and there's accounts you can follow on Twitter that's highly accurate for posting the correct lineups way before they're given out. Right now there's COVID going on, and there's COVID, people testing positive for COVID, which is ruled out. Yeah, occasionally those tests are negative and they will be ruled in. But there are so many ways you could get into market and find yourself in profitable spots. Using Twitter for lineups, 1 hour before the game, lineups are released. If you can gather information about what kind of lineups am I expecting certain teams to be playing, what kind of formations am I expecting certain teams to be playing, and all of a sudden a team is playing a much more defensive formation than what everyone is anticipating, then yeah, maybe you can go and bet unders. If they're playing more attacking, go overs. If the favorite is dropping, like if a city team is dropping, that is minus 1.5 goes to minus 175, then you can also bet overs. If like everything just adds up, but you can also see you need some knowledge though to figure out how would the starting 11 look for each team and how should that impact the odds. You don't need to know it down to the like zero or exactly like how much their goal expectancy is gonna increase or decrease by. You just need to know it's gonna adjust more than the market has adapted to.
Yeah, exactly. No, the best recent example I remember is the Carabao Cup game between Arsenal and Liverpool. And obviously, as an Arsenal supporter, and also anyone watching the EPL or just following Liverpool understands that whenever they get into those cup competitions, they never ever release their best side. So, or very rarely they do.
You're talking about Arsenal or Liverpool?
Liverpool.
Oh,
so. Yeah. Like for me, I saw the odds of like Arsenal were at 4.0 or something like that, and Liverpool were very short, and I was stunned because there's no way that Liverpool were ever going to put out, Mane, Salah, Firmino, Henderson, like their best side, and of course, like I thought they put out all their youngsters like they always do in the Carabao Cup, and Arsenal. If you play second team Arsenal against second team Liverpool, it's a lot more even. Like it's almost an even game.
Yeah.
And as you saw, as we all saw, it went to penalties. So, when the team lineups came out, Arsenal went from 4s down to 3s. So it was just like, it's just.
If you weren't that greedy, you would have taken plus a half and won the bet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's simple scenarios like that, but I guess the problem with that strategy is that you have to be very clued into like the EP, like a league, I guess is the best way of putting it, or a certain team.
Yeah. It's there's nothing that comes too easy, so you just need to figure out whatever's working for you and be willing to put in the time. And if you're not, then it's not going to work.
No, exactly, mate.
Everyone's competing in tough markets there.
Would you say, like, overall, if you had to sum up your style of sports betting, because there's obviously multiple different approaches, like, building models and following the markets and stuff like that you've never built a model or anything like that, have you?
Not personally, no.
No.
But I've tried using a couple, and it's very fine margins, and there's a lot of calculations that goes into them, and I don't exactly know how they do it, all of that, and manage to get all of these things right. But it's doable. But you wouldn't be able to do it just coming you need a massive team and so many like feeds of everything in order to have something that comes close to being profitable.
Yeah. So would you say, like, if you had to sum up your approach into like one kind of bracket, it's more so like a market-based approach?
Yeah.